Okay, so let's get started with this. This one, we're gonna purely eyeball it, how to design the windmill. Hope you can see there. So let's go here to new. And I'm gonna create a new file. Let's call it windmill. Let me just find the NX folder real quick and say, okay, right there. And we're gonna take inspiration from that idea. What I'm thinking actually is, do you wanna make it a 4-sided structure or a 3-sided structure? Or a 5-sided structure? Four. Four is gonna be simpler. We make 4, so let's do 4. So let's do a sketch all together. So let's click in sketch. Let's go to the top plane. I'll click OK. And then we'll go to rectangle. I'll choose this one in here that's called the center rectangle. And I'm gonna draw it like that. Then as usual, we click on letter D. Let's give these guys some dimensions. We're gonna make them equal sided, so maybe 200 by 200. And then I'll click on finish. Good. So we have is a square, and then we're just gonna click then on extrude, and we're gonna bring this up by let's see, maybe no, 200 is too little, maybe by, let's bring it up by 400 in there. So we have our square. Let's bring it up like this, and let's click OK. Right when you reach this point, just feel free to stop me in this one. I'll stop in a second, but then you'll click on this one that's called draft, taking inspiration again from that idea, which is very, very useful. So I'll click in there, draft, and then you'll need to fix the face that's gonna stay constant. Oh, actually, no, this is, let me just try again. No, first the vector. I do wanna draft it there. So now stationary face is gonna be this one. And then all of the faces that I wanna draft are these guys right here, but it's drafting outwards. So I would probably need to say -10. There we go. Yeah, maybe -12. I think there we go. I'll click, okay. And just go around. The next step is not trivial, and it's related to creating planes. So we're gonna click in where it says datum plane. And as you can see from here, there's a bunch of different ways to create a plane. The reality, maybe if you've taken math, I'm assuming vector calculus, right? You guys do like plane math in there. You can define a plane with like, 2 vectors, or maybe a vector and a point, right? You click a point and the vector is perpendicular. It's literally that. It's quite fun. So the one that I like the most, it's called point and direction. So to illustrate what point and direction means is, I'm gonna click on that point, but the direction that I want is this vector in here. Let's see, actually, oh, hold on. Let me do it again. 1 second. Datum plane, point and direction. So let me actually choose the vector first. It's gonna be that line. And then the point is this one right there. So you see how it creates a plane? It's difficult to tell from here, but it's a plane that is perpendicular to that line along this direction. Does this make sense, what I'm saying in there? Let me do it again, one more time. So plane, click on point and direction. I suggest you first select the vector. So I click on that line, and then specify point, that point. And you click OK. So yeah, now you have that little plane in there. So why do we do this? Is because now I'll go to sketch, and I'm gonna do a sketch in that plane. Let me just find it real quick. Where, I don't even know where here it is. Okay. And what I want to do, if you've seen like these sorts of structures, they are like beams that are L-shaped. So we're gonna design very quickly an L-shaped beam. beam in here. So let me just click in here, entire assembly. That way I can select that point. Uy. Don't worry yet. There's a couple of things that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go here to where it says parallel, and I'm gonna make this line and that line parallel. Let's see whether that works. Okay, that seems to be the case. Then I'm gonna make this line and that line parallel. It's difficult to tell from there. Then I'm gonna make this one and that one equal. I'm just gonna bring these two here, and I'm gonna make this one and that one equal. Okay, and then probably also this line and that line, I'll make them equal too. Probably the last thing that I would need to do is make this angle perpendicular. So I'll make this that perpendicular. Actually, I won't do that yet. I should make this one perpendicular. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Let me see if I can make this one perpendicular too. Almost there. Perpendicular. Oh. Let's see if I can dimension this. That was 200, so let's make this 10. Oh, hold on. We make this angle in here. One more. Let me see if I can make this line and this line. Yeah, but it's just moving everything around. Okay. We're gonna provide some dimensions to this overall structure. Let's see. Then I think I overcomplicated making this. I'll just delete all of that. I'm just gonna make a bunch of rectangles. I think that's gonna be easier to do. I'll make a rectangle like that. I'll make another one that goes like that. Let's provide maybe this one as well. Okay. So let's make that. Let's see. 5. Let's make that 5. Yeah, that is. Okay. I promise I will go around to help you guys. But it is just to get an L shape. It doesn't matter too much the dimensions. But the point now is that if I click on finish and I have this structure in there, then I can go to extrude. I'm gonna change the direction to make it -400. And you see how our L shape is being extruded in this direction. In fact, I'll be quite loose. There, I'll make it negative 420. And just make sure that you have the none in there. To the point that now I'll click on this trapezoid and I'll hide it. I don't need it anymore. I just wanted the bracket. So that's where I took inspiration from. I just wanted to design one of these guys. Maybe now I could go back. No, I think I like the overall size of that. So let me go around and I'll help you guys do this. Here's where the magic starts happening. So I'll do a little bit more. That way folks can then continue doing this with the structure. But now we'll go to our friend, the pattern. But we're going to use instead, there's different types of pattern. You can look them up here. There's one that's called body pattern, face pattern, feature pattern. We're going to use actually geometry pattern in this case. And what you're going to choose, select your object, is going to be that beam, and then specify vector, where we have the z-axis, which is right in the middle. So there's multiple things, that different patterns, right? We could make it linear. We're going to make it circular in this case. Let me just choose the vector again. We could actually make an entire, look, let's see what happens. Actually, I'll go here to count and span. Let's say 360. We could make a little tent, I guess, with all of these beams, but we just want 4 of them. So now that's how very easily you get one in each one of these corners. So I'll click OK. Okay, so you have that beam, and the nice thing about it, because it's an L shape, is that this face and that face, they are coplanar, which means they lie on the same face. So now the other thing that we can do is that once you get this point, you can click on sketch, and now let's do a sketch on this face right here. I click on OK. It doesn't matter. And then we can add, for instance, one beam that is going to go right here in the middle, then another beam that is going to go up there. So let me just draw one line, which is going to be from here to here. And I'll make this a construction line. And then I'll make 2 more lines, one right there, one right here. And actually I'll make, I could make one right there as well. I'm just gonna click like this, and then I'll go to line, and I'll draw a line that goes between all of these guys, just like that. Now I need to make sure that all of these lines are parallel, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'll click here in parallel, I'll make them parallel, then parallel as well, that one in there, okay. And I'll make all of these ones in the middle construction lines. I'll actually make these 2 construction lines as well. And then I'll make this and that one equal. And then I'll make this one and this one equal too. What all of this means is that now these are equally spaced. So I have 3 of these guys. So why did I do this? Because then I go here to rectangle, and I'll make a center rectangle. And I just want to make a rectangle that goes roughly, this one doesn't matter how big it is, but roughly up to here, something like this. Then I'm going to give this a dimension. I'll make that, say, 90. I'll make this one 140. Maybe I'll make the thickness of each one of these rectangles 10 as well. That way it's consistent with our pyramid design. Oh, let's make that 10. And let's make that 10 as well. Good. So now, very easily, we'll click on finish, and then we are gonna extrude these guys by 5 outwards. That way it's the same thickness as we had in there. And we also make it none. Very good. So let me just hide those sketches. I don't need them. And then we go to our friend, the edge blend. And I'm gonna actually, let me go here, edge blend. And I'm gonna do that on each one of the, I don't wanna do faces, I do single face. There we go. theoretically, I don't think it should allow me. Oh, it does allow me. Okay. Just go like that. Let's make this maybe 2, or actually, let's see, 5, 4. I click on OK. So now it's starting to look a little bit better. So then you probably figure out that we can do another pattern of geometries. And I click, all right, what do you want a pattern? So I'm gonna select each one of these guys individually, specify vector that guy, and it remembers it's 4. So now we are pretty easily done with the structures. I'll let you guys work on this one. I just wanna show you one last thing, which is making the, yes, you have that in there. Let me show these guys again. Suppose you reach this point, if you have time, just make the diagonal beam. So you can make one from here to there, and one from here to there, and then make a pattern. But I wanted to make the blades one moment. So one way that we can do this is, let's go here to plane, and we're gonna create a new plane. Let's call it inferred. That's gonna be defined by that line and that line. Actually, I'm not here. Let me see if I can find two curves. 2 lines. There we go. For that one and that one. Oh shit. Actually, it's not working the way I would want this to be. But maybe let me show you one new trick, which is if you go here to curve, you can create something that's called a 3D line. So you can click on where it says line, and literally you can just draw a line that goes, say, from this point to that point, and then a line that goes from this point to, let me just do it again. Line that goes from this point to, oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, apply. So now, yes, let me try going back to home. And I'm gonna create a plane that's gonna be between this line and that line. Very good. Yes, so that is exactly the plane that I wanted, one that would be defined by those two. I'll click on OK. So now you can do a sketch on that plane in there. Okay. And I'm gonna start first by drawing a center rectangle right there in the middle. And this, I guess it could be our generator per se. Let's make that, say, like 20, and we can make, okay. And then we can make this dimension here 50. I'll finish this, and then I will extrude upwards, maybe by, let's say, yeah, 20 is fine. Okay. And then I'm gonna do another sketch here on that face, and I will extend, do a line that goes like that, and make that a construction. Then I'll make a circle, extend that as well to make that 15. I'm gonna extrude that by 30. So here's where the, oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm thinking it would be a good way of doing this. Okay, just try to get it to this point, and then we'll continue from here. Otherwise, it's gonna be too much. So this is gonna be a little bit more challenging to do, but we can do it. So we're gonna do a sketch that's gonna go, actually no, yeah, let's do a sketch here on this face. Right here, and just click OK. And then just make a line that's gonna go all the way up to here. And then I'll just give that dimension of like 100 or maybe 120. This in here will denote the maximum height of your blade when we do design the blade, and I'll click on finish. So the reason why we're doing that is because now we go to datum plane and we create the usual point and direction. So I'll choose that point there. So it already recognizes that. I'll go here to OK. And then we are going to do a sketch on the top face of that plane. I'll go just like that. And then one thing that we can do is we're going to make it a very, very, very simple blade. It's not going to be, what we're going to learn next time is how to make it variable diameter. This is going to be the same diameter across. And when you're here, just make one little arch that's going to be like that, and then another arch slightly like that. Very good. And what we're going to do then with this is extrude downwards by negative, let's do negative 130. No, that's too much. Negative 122. I know, negative 120. Let's do it like that. Okay. And then click OK. So now you have one of these blades. Looks kind of ugly. I'm not gonna lie, so I may actually go back here and I'll edit. I'll edit the blade a little bit, just like that. That looks a little bit better. And then you go back to pattern. So this is where you would use pattern feature instead of like you were asking the question before, instead of geometry pattern, because I want all of these to eventually be the same figure. So feature pattern, I will select that feature and then the vector, this guy in there. So this is a lot. We probably want like 12 of these instead, and I click on OK. So now you have this, but again, it looks kind of ugly right here. So now we're gonna fix that in just a second, and then we can always modify this in a moment. But now we are gonna do another sketch. Let's see what would be the what would be the okay. So we're gonna go here to plane, and then we're gonna create a bisector plane. A bisector plane is essentially a plane that goes, I wanna do a plane between these two faces. And you'll see why I'm creating this one in a second. By clicking OK. So now what that allows me to do is I'm gonna create a big shape, and you'll see here now, let me just do a sketch. Now in this plane right there, I'll say OK. And now what we're gonna start doing is I'm gonna draw a line that goes from the middle, just like this. And then you can draw an arch. Maybe I'll draw the arch just like this. So you can already start to tell this, I won't need the cylinder in the end, or maybe just until there, and then I'm gonna bring this. I'm not too worried about fully dimensioning stuff, as you can tell, but that is completely fine. So I'm just drawing the profile of something, as you can already tell. So I'll click here in finish, but then you go to this command in here that's called revolve. And I can say, all right, select that profile in there. And then for the vector, I want there like that. And I'll say, I do want to unite. There we go. Select body, all of these different. Yeah, it's fine. I say, okay. Boom. So now it looks a little more aerodynamic, like the blades in there. So you can give that a shot. Actually, I may change I still don't like the blades. I want to edit them. What was it, honestly? There we go. And everything updates automatically. Maybe I'll just change it. There we go. I can give that a shot, and then you can just do a couple of edge blends and color it a little bit. So I'm gonna go here to File, New, Model. I'll call it. This one is the, how is it called? The Iron Goose Pagoda, or what is the actual name? Pagoda Xi'an. Giant wild goose. So we're gonna draw this one, which is quite simple. We're not gonna, we may do the roof. We'll take a look in a second. Happy to chat with you guys about why I like pagodas a lot. That's a different story. So let's actually start with this. We're gonna do a rough sketch of this. Let's call it wild goose pagoda. I click on OK. So looking at this picture, what you can already tell, and that's why I selected this project, is that every floor is the same. It's just a little bit, it's shrunk a little bit, right? And that's what I want to teach you today, how to make the shrinkage, right? I always say that dimensions don't matter. It's because you can always scale things. And that's what we're gonna learn today. So let's make one of these floors. A rough way of doing it, right? I'll go here to top, I'll go to OK, and we're gonna start with a center rectangle that goes like that. Let's make this definitely a square. And let's make it as usual, 200 by 200. And then I'll click on finish. And I will extrude this upwards by 100. I think that looks like a decent height for a floor. Then I'm gonna go here to sketch. I'll go here to one of those faces, and you see it has like a window in there. So we're gonna draw one of these windows. A very, very easy way of doing this. Actually, before we do, let me teach you one last thing, which is there's this command that's called shell. I can click in shell and go here to the face. So it's essentially creating a 5mm shell all around this body. This will be useful so that this is a little bit hollow in the inside. I'll say OK. And now, yes, we go here to sketch. I'll select that face. And I'm going to do a line that goes roughly up to there. Let's make that 70. And then I'll do a rectangle. This is a very rough approximation of what the pagoda actually looks like, but it's okay. We go here to finish. Then I'm going to extrude cut, subtract, -5. And now we're gonna edge blend this in here, that in there, and let's blend it by 10. I'll say, okay, good. So now, as you can probably guess, I'm gonna go here to our friend pattern, and I'll make a circular pattern. So this one is of a feature, right? Because this is still a single feature. So select feature, I'll do the extrude and the blend, specify vector, the Z. I want 4 of these. So now you see how it very easily created one of these. Now I'll go here to sketch. I'll go to the top face of this thing. And what I'll do is here an offset. Let me right click here, or work part only. So I can do an offset of all of these edges. Actually, hold on, let me just try again. Very good, like that. But I'm gonna offset outwards by 5. I'll say okay, finish, and I'm gonna unite, and I'm gonna make a little layer that is 5 tall. I'll do the same thing. I'll go here to sketch, okay, and now I will offset again this top layer by 5. I'll finish, and then I'll bring that up again by 5, and I'll do it one more time. So sketch, top face, offset by 5, finish, and I'll bring it up by 5 again. So why am I doing this? Because you can tell here from the details that it kind of looks like that. We're only gonna make it 5 times. And now here's where the magic comes to give you a little bit more variety. We're gonna go back to pattern, and we'll click here in pattern, and we'll make pattern geometry. So this was, we said that was 100 plus those 5, it should be 15. So we're gonna only make a pattern, a linear pattern this time. It's gonna ask us along which direction. You can select that one, and it should be only one of these, and let's make it 115. So you see how this thing now is on the top. And because this is a pattern of geometries, right? I can click in this and hide it, and it's just a different body than that one. So these two are separate from each other. Now the beautiful aspect of this comes here. I'll go to the command that's called scale body. And there's this command that's called, I think it's non-uniform, the one that I want to do, and I'll click on this. So I want the z-axis, right? The height of this to still be 100 or 115. I only want to scale the y and the x. So I want to make this 0.9 and this one 0.9. And click on OK. So very easily, now we created one layer that is smaller. In fact, I'll just go back here. I think let's do 92. I think it's slightly less. So let's go back to pattern. So this is a very mechanical process, right? We do the exact same thing, specify vector. We go upwards 115, OK. And now we click again on scale, scale body. We choose this body, we click on non-uniform, and it remembers 0.92, 0.92. Again, pattern, let's do pattern body, no, sorry, pattern geometry. Oh, I did, yeah, pattern geometry, there we go. I click on that one, specify vector, this one again, I click on OK, and now we do scale. It remembers, very good. So you see how I only did like 5 sketches in total. It was very simple, and now this I could have tried to replicate this, and it would have been a lot harder, in my opinion. I'll do again. Let's do one more layer of these guys. Specify vector. Oh, that's the wrong vector. Let me choose that one. There we go. Okay, and now let's scale this. Scale body. It remembers very good. So now I want to make it look kind of nice with the roof. So let's do, here's the roof's design that I suggest. Let's go here to sketch. Let's do a sketch here in the top. And I'm gonna go here, right click entire assembly. Okay. Let me just draw a line that will go like this. But if I click on the line, I can just drag the point to where I want that. There we go. So I want that point in there. I want this point right there. But I will make this, there you go, just like that. Construction. And now what we're gonna do is a rectangle that's gonna go like this. 1 point like that, 1 point like that, and just like that. And I will define that to be 5. And you will see what's the point of this thing in a second. I will just extrude upwards, select body. I want this to be merged. Let me extrude upwards by, let's say, 80. And now we'll go here to sketch. Here, sketching that face. And we're gonna bring our friend the spline tool to make a kind of a nice looking organic shape that I'll probably not be very satisfied with, but it doesn't matter. I'll say okay. I can make it look something like that. And then I'll go with this line, I want to draw a line that will come like this, just like that. And you click on finish. So what, oh, actually I do need to, no, that's fine. So why did I do this? Because now I can select all of those lines and I want to subtract, select body there. Let's see, yeah, input selection is not valid. Let me see why. Let's delete that. I think that's gonna be fine. Okay. So now, yes, we'll do, it wasn't fully closed, I think. Select curve, we'll do these guys, subtract again, select body, that, -10. Never to perform Boolean. Why is it? Let's say none. Okay. I'm just gonna do this, and then you can go here to subtract, and I'll say, all right, I want to subtract that one. It's possible that somewhere. Okay, I think I know what's the problem. You try here, select body that. Ah, very good. Anyway, that was, we went all our way to do this because now we'll go here to again to here. I'll go here to pattern feature. I'll pattern this one, and I'll actually let it go pattern this, I'll pattern that. Circular, choose that vector. No. Here. Point. There we go. I'll probably need to, let me just edit this for a moment. Let's say none. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I know why. It was, I think I forgot to select. There we go. That one I actually don't need. Anyways, this is just a little bit of a complicated way of doing this, but it's okay because then I go here to plane, and now I'll create a bisector plane between these two right there. And all that we're left to do is just create a sketch in here. I'll say, okay. And I just want to now draw an arch that is gonna go, say, from this point to that point. We'll make it look kind of nice like that. I just need to find where the middle is. I'll figure that out in a second. I'm gonna bring this all the way down, just like that. Actually, maybe if I make these two perpendicular, it might work. Say, okay. Yeah, I think this should be fine. I'll say finish. So now we go back to the command here that's revolve. There we go. And for the vector, I'll select this line. Oh, sorry, let me just hide this for a second. Just to revolve of this here. And select body. Well, I would need to show this again. Excellent. You see, yes, it's a little bit out of the shape, so I should probably modify this sketch in here. Let me edit it for a second. So I'm just gonna bring that in there. I'll say finish. Actually, a little bit more. I'll edit this like that. Okay. I wouldn't say it's my finest piece of art, but it's more to illustrate the concepts in here. But it took us 20 minutes to get at least to this point. So now the point is now that you know the basic ideas, you can make it look nicer like this. Okay, now yes, I will actually finish the recording here. But thank you very much for watching.